book, giving you the actual tools you need to start speaking, like right now. Let's get to it.
So our guide for this whole thing is Minna no Nihongo, which basically means Japanese for everyone. And honestly, it's a fantastic choice. It's used in classrooms all over the world for a reason. It's just really practical. So we're going to lean on its super clear, structured way of explaining things to get a handle on the fundamentals of Japanese grammar.
So this is the big question, right? For anyone starting out, how do you go from knowing absolutely nothing to forming a full coherent thought? It can feel a little intimidating at first, I get it, but Japanese sentence structure is actually beautiful and logical at its core. And by the end of this, you're going to see exactly what I mean.
Okay, first up, we need a foundation. The most basic, most essential sentence you can possibly make is just a simple positive statement, declaring that something is something else. We're talking about the classic A is B formula. This is the absolute cornerstone of everything we're going to learn today.
And here it is. This is the magic formula. Noun 1, followed by ha, then noun 2, and you finish it off with des. Now, N1 and N2, those are just placeholders for any nouns, like I or student. The real magic is happening with the little bits in between. So, what do they actually do?
Now this is where it gets really interesting, and we're looking directly at the source material here. That little particle, wa, and this is key, it's pronounced wa when it's used like this. It points to the topic of the sentence. It's like a little flag that says, hey, this is what we're talking about right now. Then you've got des at the very end. Now this doesn't just mean is, it's more than that. It adds a level of politeness, and it confirms that you're making a firm statement, a judgment.
And boom, this shows you the formula in action, perfectly. Watashi, that's our noun 1, the topic, it means I. Then Mike Miller is noun 2, Mike Miller. Slap it all together and you get watashi wa Mike Miller des. It's kind of like saying, as for me, I am Mike Miller. Simple, clean, and hey, that's your first complete Japanese sentence.
Okay, so you can say what something is. Awesome. Now, let's build on that. How do we say what something isn't? Well, the great news is you don't have to learn some brand new complicated structure. All you have to do is swap out one little part.
So here's the crucial thing to notice. The beginning of the sentence, the N1, wa, N2 part, it stays exactly the same. The only thing that changes is the ending. You just replace that polite, positive ending, this, with this polite, negative ending, ja arimasen.
And hey, don't just take my word for it. We can see it confirmed right here in the grammar notes. The book is super clear that ja arimasen is the direct negative version of des, especially for everyday conversation. It's the standard, polite way to say something is not the case.
Let's look at another one from the book. Santos-san, that's our topic, Mr. Santos. Gakusei means student. By swapping in ja arimasen at the end, we get this really clear statement. Mr. Santos is not a student. See? It's the same framework, just a different ending, and you get the complete opposite meaning. It's pretty efficient.
All right, we can make positive statements, we can make negative statements. Now, for the third piece of the puzzle, asking questions. And if you thought the negative was easy, you're going to love this. It is even simpler. It all comes down to one single magic syllable.
Seriously, that's it. You take your full, complete, positive statement, N1 wa, N2 des, and you just add the particle ka right onto the very end. The word order doesn't change, you don't have to remove anything, you just add ka, and usually you'll have a rising intonation when you say it, and bam, you've just asked a question.
And the textbook gives us the official breakdown right here. It says, ka is a particle that expresses the speaker's doubt, question, or uncertainty. You can basically think of it as the spoken version of a question mark in Japanese. Okay, let's see it work. The plain old statement would be, Mira-san wa America gen desu, which means Mr. Miller is an American. But by simply tacking that little ka onto the end, it instantly transforms into a question. Is Mr. Miller an American? It's just an incredibly efficient system.
So, there we have it, our three core patterns. The positive statement, the negative statement, and the question. Now, let's see how they actually weave together to create a real, natural-sounding conversation.
So we're pulling these examples straight from the example sentences section of Lesson 1. This part of the book is specifically designed to show you exactly how these grammar tools are used in practical, real-world chats.
Okay, check out this basic exchange. The first person uses our question pattern, Anata wa Mike Mira-san desu ka, which is, are you Mr. Mike Miller? Then the second person responds with hai, which means yes, and then they use our positive statement pattern to confirm, watashi wa Mike Mira desu.
Simple, direct, and grammatically perfect.
Now let's look at a slightly more complex one. The question gets asked, "Are you a student, Mr. Miller?" The answer starts with "iie," meaning no, and it's followed by our negative pattern, "gakusei ja arimasen," I am not a student. But look, it doesn't stop there. He then gives the correct info using a positive statement, "kaishain desu," I am a company employee. Right there, that's a complete conversational turn using every single tool we just learned.
So let's just do a quick recap here. With just the stuff from this one lesson, you now have this incredibly powerful little toolkit. You know how to state what something is, you know how to state what it isn't, and you know how to ask if it is. I mean, these three patterns are the foundation for tons and tons of conversations.
You literally have the fundamental building blocks to introduce yourself, to ask about other people, and to understand their answers. You can say who you are, what you do, and what you're not. So really, the only question left is, what's the first thing you're going to say?